Hi guys, finding it hard to make and edit videos right now just because I keep overdoing myself and I won't just do one a week, so I really need to chill and like pick important videos. This is an important video. One of my kids sent me these questions, so I'm going to give this a very impromptu stab, and mind you, I have not read any of them. I literally just printed this out and I'm just going to wing it. So, questions for Miss Jess. What makes you happy? Katie, my pup. But I think one of the things that makes me the most happy is when something I've taught you comes to life. And what else makes me happy? Nature, waves. Right, we're gonna move on. What's your biggest fear? Crickets? Yeah, definitely crickets. The cave crickets, the big ones that look like those gnarly spiders and they can just like jump everywhere and you have no idea where they're going. Where I grew up, we just had a ton of those in our basements, and I don't know, I went to school one day. It's so bad, my hair is like matted. It's too long. But I went to school one day and I tried to take out my lunch money, and I reached into my pocket and there was a dead cricket, and it was very traumatizing. And the other thing I'm afraid of is losing people, because I've had to deal with it too many times. Now, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Great question. I think I would change my irregularity in my self-care schedules. Like, I think that I would choose the magic of being able to maintain my like fitness and diet the way that I should. If I could change that, like, I'll take it. Okay, what is your favorite thing about your career? The best thing about being a teacher is the fact that you get to actually be the change. You get to be the change you want to see in the world. That is a quote that has been with me for a really long time, and I think that's my favorite thing about my job. And I also appreciate the summers off because I'm a creative person, and I like making a difference in the world through little humans who are going to be the future. Now, can you see yourself being anything less besides an artist or a teacher? If so, what? Oh, I forgot that I'm an artist too. Being an artist is like so much a part of me that I don't even associate it as a thing. It's just kind of me. Part of me wants to say to be self-employed and kind of have my own business and that sort of thing, but there's part of me that really appreciates having that on the side, and I feel like that balance of those two worlds makes me a good teacher. When I was a really little girl, people used to ask me, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say a babysitter or a makeup stylist. Those would still be options. No, I wanted to be a cosmetologist. I remember that word. What makes me angry? Trump makes me really angry, and people who don't wear masks make me angry, and when people blatantly just do crappy things, that makes me angry too. I know that's vague. What's one thing you wish you could change in the world? I like these questions because it's kind of all centered, like this is why I teach. I just want to make the world a better place. From day one, that is the only thing I've ever wanted to do, is to leave the world better than I found it, and to somehow have a positive impact. And I feel so able to do that through teaching. Like, relationships with my kids are transformative for them and for me, I think. I hope. But I think if I could change one thing in the world right now, it would be, well, it's a two-parter, but I'm going to say the more important part. I want the race game off the table. I want just equality. Like, we are humans. We're all humans, so that also makes me angry, going back to that question. What is your future goal, and where do you see yourself in the future? One thing I really, really want is to buy a house. That is a big, 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 huge goal. And I'd really like to be a partner and have a family, and I'd like to be able to travel again when the world opens. And I don't know where I see myself in the future. I've always sort of had a hard time with future vision. I was a person who was stuck in the past for a lot of my life, and now I do embrace living in the present, which is a gift, but the future sometimes just gives me anxiety. But I know right now, for sure, I want a house, I want a family of my own. What would I do if I won the lottery? I would buy a house. I would also put some money in the stock market. I would also put some into savings. I would also print 100,000 copies of my book and distribute it for free. I would teach part-time. What are your biggest pet peeves? Messy kitchens. I like a clean, organized kitchen. What's your favorite holiday? It's Christmas because I'm born exactly a week before. And I just love the food and the lights and the tree and the presents. And it's magical. What is your favorite childhood memory? I'm probably going to edit out the gigantic pause that I'm taking, but favorite childhood memory is like such a hard question for me. My ex once asked me something like that, and sometimes it's hard for me to think of those things because I had so many hard things happen during that time. But I think I would just go with growing up on the beach in the summers in Rhode Island. The way, I don't know, my grandfather used to give me a quarter and send me down the street to pick up a newspaper, and sometimes he'd give me a little extra so I could get ice cream. What is something you must do every single day? No question about it, must happen. I must feed Katie. I must keep her alive. She is my sanity. I am musting myself into yoga every day. But I think, other than that, something else that I have to do every single day, well, I have to make my bed. I didn't learn that until I was like 30. Grandma Donna taught me, and she was pissed that I didn't know how to do hospital corners. But she told me it was an embarrassment when I was 30, and that nobody had taught me this. And I was so ashamed that I have pretty much made my bed every day ever since. I don't do it with hospital corners every day, though. I just pull the cover over and make it look nice. All right, so who knows you best? Friends and family? That's a great question. A lot of times I feel like sometimes nobody knows me at all. Or sometimes I think they know too much. And yeah, but I guess the people who know me well are the ones who've either known me the longest or the most intimately. So I would say, I think Joaquin knows me very, very well. I think that Judy and Sabrina and Lisa in their own ways know me very well because they know me as a kid. Those are like my oldest, bestest friends from back in the day. But you know what, actually, so I'm 35 now, and the person who knows me the best is me. And maybe Katie, actually, because she sees everything that I do. How many languages do you speak? 1.5. So I used to speak 2. Actually, 1.7, because I can say the numbers from 1 to 10 in French. But I speak Spanish, un poquito, y mostly en mi cabeza, porque no tengo gentes hablas con language. Yeah, so English and Spanish. I did take a lot of Spanish, and I did immersion, and I went to Guatemala and Panama and studied it. So I understand a lot of it. Sometimes my words escape me, especially if I'm nervous or want to impress you. Or if you're one of my kids, because I don't want you to judge me and make fun of me, because then it makes me feel sad. But I love Spanish. I think it's a beautiful language. Okay, final question. What is the biggest life lesson you've learned? What a big question. Okay. The biggest life lesson that I have learned has also been the most painful thing to accept. And it is that life happens. Life just happens. You have that life happens when you're busy making other plans. Life just happens and you have to roll with the punches. And sometimes we don't get what we want when we want it. But so far, even through the worst stuff, my life's only gotten better on the other side of it. So it gets better. Life's a ride. It's a process. It's a painting. Don't be afraid to play. All right. That's it. Nilofar, thank you so much for these questions. That was super fun, and I'm glad that I didn't read them before I answered them. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, comment. If you want something to comment, you could tell me, what is your biggest fear? I'd like to know that. All right, we'll see you next week.